Welcome back. We're going live, and I am working on some 3D printed. These I 3D printed pilgrims. I have 3D printed more pilgrims than I will ever need, but that's not a bad thing since this game plays like more times. So as you play the game, you can upgrade your characters. And rather than having to, you know, pull apart characters, because that would one suck, and two, uh, with the way this resin can be somewhat brittle on occasion, you would probably end up breaking figures. It might just be easier to have a couple of extras laying around so that you can upgrade them whenever. Now, one thing I am doing, because I don't know why, for no good reason really, other than I think it's cool, is I have bought some Warlords or War Games Atlantic Russian World War One figures, and I am giving my Trench Crusade pilgrims World War One Russian equipment. So instead of the standard infield, my guys are all getting Mosin Nagants and such. And I don't know. I just felt like I'm going to play a war band from, the Empire of Russia. And that's just the thing. They heard one of the saints telling them to go fight, and that is what they are doing. The arms and stuff from the War Games Atlantic stuff, they fit really well. So it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Hungar, Garbage Rod. Hell yeah. What's up, reprobates? How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. After I get done live streaming for a little while, I'm probably going to do the floors, knock my chores out before the weekend comes so that I can rest throughout the weekend. And, so I've got my medic. I've got some stigmatic nuns, both in heavy armor and in no armor. I've got my castigator, which is looks like a big Russian guy. He's wearing like an Ushanka with a big Orthodox cross. Oh, you're in the hospital today. Well, I mean, why should today be any different? All right. One thing about this homeboy is I did him in reverse. So yeah. You know how sometimes you can do a freaking flip. What's up, homie?
Not much, man. Same old, same old. Another day, another dollar.
Same o, same o. So let's see. This guy's kind of crazy because his shield is just covered with. It's got a crucifix, but then it's covered with human hands nailed directly to the shield. It's kind of like, all right.
Oh,
This is like the most edgy boy game ever. It's like they're like the guy who created it was like, I'm gonna base everything on Hot Topic. I don't know. Whenever I think edgy boy, I always think Hot Topic. What's up, Deckard? How you doing?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Sungar.
Yeah.
Of course, we know Hungar's chasing the nurses around with permission, obviously.
Well, if you can't stop throwing up, I don't know. But so here we have a basic trench crusade pilgrim, except instead of the standard Enfield rifle, he's got a World War I Mosin Nagant Russian rifle. One thing I kind of ranted about a little bit about this game is it's like New Antioch is all like British equipment, and the Heretic Legions all look like World War I Germans. And that doesn't make any sense since one of the good guy kingdoms is the Holy Roman Empire, which is actually Germany. And also Finland. Finland's a good guy kingdom too. So,
They switched that Holy Roman Empire around so much it was whichever way the wind blew and the money came into the church, man.
It was basically Germany, but they would elect emperors at the drop of a hat. As a matter of fact, when one emperor went away to crusade, before he even had gotten good and out of the country, they were re-electing a new emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
It was France for a while. Then wasn't it Germany? It was England, France. I don't know.
Well, the Holy Roman Empire was a whole congregation of places.
Yeah. But what I meant is the emperor was English at one point. I think he was French at one point. I don't know if he was ever Spain. I know Germany, you know.
Well, might have been Spain because of how close the Habsburgs were. So I know one of the Habsburg rulers was definitely Spanish. I mean, it's an alternate history, so whatever, but just it doesn't, to me, I'm all like, why are you making the bad guys wear World War I German equipment when Germany is actually on the good guys' side? You know, it's like, I feel like if you were to do a Holy Roman Empire army, all of your guys should be wearing German steel helmets or pickle helms, you know, and that would be fine. I mean, the one thing they did right so far in the design, because it's still, you know, early in the design, is every faction has like a dozen sub factions and they all don't get along. And pretty much no one gets along with the Trench Pilgrims. That's kind of their thing. Because usually people show up to New Antioch and they swear an oath of fealty to Constantine, but hey, what's up, Bo? Neither Roman nor holy. Yeah, exactly. Trench Pilgrims basically ignore New Antioch. They just kind of show up and do their own thing. So, and then for Trench Pilgrim, for New Antioch armies, they've got like an Irish faction, a Prussian faction, a Scottish faction, Um, they've even got like a papal faction. Their whole deal is they're like a lot more elite. So your warband's going to be a lot smaller, but everyone in your warband's going to be a lot more badass. And they also do not swear fealty to Duke Constantine of New Antioch, because they're like, hey, get bent, homie. We serve the Pope. You know what I mean? So, meanwhile, you can have parties of trench crusade guys that come from Eastern Europe, and they're all Orthodox. So it's like somebody's like, we serve the Pope, and they're like, yeah, we don't care because we're Orthodox. It's like, huh? Okay.
Now, straighten something out for me about Orthodoxes. Where is the head of the Orthodox Church located? Is it in Constantinople or is it Moscow?
There is no head.
There is no head?
Mm-mm.
I thought there was.
No, I mean Constantinople, specifically the Hagia Sophia, is a very, very holy site for Orthodoxy. And when Constantinople was conquered by, I think, Mehmet, a lot of the priests and everything fled across the Black Sea to Russia. So Russia kind of become the new Constantinople. But in Orthodoxy, there is no pope. All the bishops of all the various dioceses are independent, as long as you're maintaining the doctrine of the faith. Exactly, Bo. Patriarchs can kind of, within reason, if they start doing shit that's blatantly against the teachings of the church, then they will find themselves in a lot of trouble really quick. Because, like, the Orthodox do not tolerate any sort of nonsense like that. You know what I mean? It's like what I say, not to be mean to anybody that's LGBT or anything, but you will never see an Orthodox church ever fly an LGBT flag. It's not going to happen. And you'll never see a female Orthodox priest. It will never happen.
Wow.
Because, I mean, according to the teachings of the Bible, women are not allowed to be in positions of authority within the church. So they cannot be priests ever. And basically,
I have my own opinion about flying flags, and it came up recently on I think it was X, that people are wondering if they should be able to fly any other flags like the LGBTQ flag or the POW flag and stuff like that. You know what I said? Unless it's government issued, it shouldn't be flown no matter what over a government building. Meaning, it's a state flag or a federal flag. Forget it. You know what I mean? Or a city flag. You know what I mean? It's got to be government issued flag that can fly. I just don't think it should be any other flag. They can just fly it wherever they want. So,
well, what's hilarious is that like people on the left were so super pro the Muslims taking over Dearborn.
yeah.
And as soon as the city council was predominantly Islamic in Dearborn, they outlawed flying LGBT flags on any government property. So then all the people that were like, the lefties, blah, 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 they're like, wait, like they felt like they had been betrayed. And it was like,
They should have known that was going to happen. I mean,
people
come
just
on.
not even understand Islam. I mean, it's like, do you not understand how
it was going to happen no matter what.
I think it's Tukia, which basically means if you're in a position of weakness, you always lie. But as soon as you get in a position of strength, you crush whoever,
Well, here's the thing. is that they actually thought Islam was going to be more tolerant than a Catholic religion. You know what I mean? Or Catholic-based religion.
Yeah, than one of the Christian
Come on,
religions. It's like, are you guys
come
kidding?
on.
They like to make it out like the Christian faith is so oppressive to them. And it's
then
like,
they're out there protesting for the Palestinians. What was the thing? From the river to the sea, which is never going to happen.
which
You know
is
what I mean?
basically saying, hey, I got a good idea. Let's commit genocide on all the Jews.
We're gay. We're going to openly protest for the Palestinians, and they're going to welcome us with open arms. No, I'm sorry, that isn't the way Islam works, especially radical Islam. They're gonna take you out into the street and murder you or throw you off the top of a building. You know, I mean,
Generally, I would say the throwing off the top of the building thing.
yeah, why waste a bullet?
That's what's ordained in the Quran. That the men who do that should be chucked from high buildings.
That's, I'm mystified and that they would even, or they can't even read. You know what I mean? They if you quote them the Bible or they quote them the Quran or something like that, it's like, oh, it doesn't say that. It says this. My priest said so, or whatever. My imam, and well, like, yeah, I think you need to go read. You know, yeah, I mean, I think it's completely lost on the millennial generation and newer that you have to read a book once in a while to get the information you need. You
No,
know,
the reality I think is, and I don't disagree with you, is just that a lot of people that are on that side are detached from reality. They just have no idea. From the
well,
liver to the knee,
yeah.
pager company slogan.
That's sort of like somebody told me that they said that Donald Trump's kids were all born outside the United States, and I'm like, did you Google this? Did you use any search engines to find out where they were born? You know what I mean? Only one of them was born outside of New York City, and that one was down in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. You know what I mean? I was like, hello, I mean,
But like I said, I was watching Salty Cracker today, as you do, and he was talking about, I guess, Portland has decided they're done. So a bunch of Antifa guys got together to do their thing, and Portland police just came in and put the stomp down, right? Started hauling them off, arresting them, all that sort of shit, right? So when they all got arrested, the thing is the Antifa guys, because they are organized, they had left all of their like supplies and stuff in like one area.
oh yeah, I saw that video.
People started going through their shit, and they were finding like tons of like bipolar medication and shit like that. One guy was like, hello, if your name is so and so, I've got your medication, and it says here you only got one refill left, so you might want to get this, and it's bipolar meds and shit. And it's like
they're leaving their cell phones and everything else, and I'm like,
phones and furry porn.
If I would have found that on my property, it all would have went in the trash. It would have just been like right in the trash. Like,
yeah, they all threw it all. Like all of them that shown up had their little backpacks with them, full of snacks, lots of snacks. Because I mean, when you're rebelling against whatever you're rebelling against, it's
Did you like
important
their shields? Do you like their shields when you see that their little trash can shields? I think that's
right.
really gonna do some good against a polycarbonate shield in front of them. You know what I mean? I laugh so hard when I see that. That rubber bullet is probably gonna rip right through that damn piece of plastic you got in front of you.
They are. I think they're just done. It was like they were a thing like back in, the summer of love. But now most people are just like, F off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, even when the Portland police are showing up, and they used to be the worst for coddling them,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're showing up and throwing their asses in jail. It's like, yeah, it was full of like goldfish crackers and juice boxes and fucking. I'll tell you what,
Probably
Andy,
stole them out of their mom's cabinet because they're not old enough to, to figure out how to go buy it themselves,
yeah, Andy Tifa is not going to get his mac and cheese and chicken nuggies tonight because he's going to jail. You know what I mean? And Andrea Tifa, yeah, they're not going to be happy. They're going to jail. Oh yeah, the BLM founders' houses were
Oh
burned.
yeah, I saw that. I hope she had them insured.
I hope she didn't, bitch. No, she wouldn't have, because remember, what's it told the governor of California that they were leaving. The insurance companies,
Yeah.
they did all their math, and they did all the winds and the dry brush, and they did all the math, and they're like, yeah, F this, we're out. Catch you guys later, right? And because they wanted to raise the insurance prices because they're saying their actuaries were all effed up, which no one likes to pay more insurance. Don't get me wrong, we all
Oh,
hate
hold it
it.
here. California's got a price limit. They can raise those goddamn prices, and that's why they had a choice. They had either a choice of they raise it to the max and they insure the houses, or B, they leave the market. Well, when you can't sustain the A, you got to do B. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
and don't tell me the fire insurances and home insurance companies do not look at the reports that the federal government puts out going, look at how much underbrush here that we have. What's the fire risk going to happen if it does start? Don't tell me they don't read those reports. They sure the hell read them better than the government does, because
oh yeah,
I know I would as an insurance company, you know.
there are people whose entire job is to sit in an office and figure shit out. That's just what they do. They sit in the office, they do math, and then they say, okay, this is the chances of some major thing happening that's going to blow up everything and put us out of business.
Right.
And when that guy called his boss and said, yeah, that chance is really, really good,
Yeah.
the boss is like, catch you
Well,
guys later.
Here's the thing. They could stop a lot of this. These states could stop a lot of this, is if they put a one rule in, is that the insurance companies need to go inspect these homes. If the insurance companies actually got out and inspected these homes personally, instead of using a satellite to go, oh, he's in this neighborhood, or use that data, you know, I mean, you could base your ratings on what the actual home's like. If you've got an 80-year-old home with 40 plus year wiring, you know, what are the odds they're going to have a fire with an electrical fire? It starts going up a little bit. You know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
can actually do that. If it's a brand new home.
Karen gave us some banana cream pie ice cream.
Oh, boss is speaking. Oh.
But yeah,
I'm
I
saying is
don't
that,
disagree. And I'm not a huge fan, nor am I trying to in any way defend the insurance companies. I'm just pointing out that they knew the jig was up.
well, I know. And that's why I say that if you go out to a guy's house and he's got it, let's say 5 feet above the floodplain, it's all made of concrete all the way around. He's got low voltage wiring throughout the house. You know what I mean? And he's got some extra things to it. I mean, the insurance company can go, well, this guy put in an extra $200,000 into his house. The odds of this one going up in flames, or this happening to the roof, or this and this and this, we're going to give him an ultra low insurance rate. And Instead, they go to the guy in New Orleans who's living 6 feet below the sea level. You got it, and the house is 150 years old. You know what I mean? It's got tubing whatever wiring. As a firefighter, it was just like, yeah, this place is just a spark away from going up in flames. So
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is horrible and sad because I think the main reason people are as upset about the California fires as they are is how preventable they were. It was like everyone involved is like, none of this had to happen. Everyone knew, everyone was warned, people were told, different, municipalities were basically begging the state to allow them to do controlled burns and clean scrub. And they kept being told no because of whatever the reason. And it's like, well, okay, then here we are. This is what happened. And
well,
this
and
is what everyone knew would happen. And,
I know. And here's the thing, though, James, is like the Reagan Presidential Library out there uses goats every year to clear the underbrush from the grounds out there. That's why it's never been burned down out there, and there's been fires all around that place. What There's leadership by example here. Why didn't the fire department say, "Hey, we could hire the goats to go out here and clean all this brush up within 150 feet of these homes," and we don't have these issues. You know what I mean? But they don't do that, and they pull the funding, and then they got, did you see the pictures out there in California of the fire trucks all lined up in the yard waiting for repairs? I was just like, holy crap.
Well, I think the fact that they hired a chief who said point blank that her main concern was diversity and hiring more women and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, your main concern should be hiring people who can do the job. But, that's not the way things work, unfortunately. And it's not just there. It's a lot of places are like that. And it's just like, it's sad, and then you get the one lady on TV talking about how if I have to go in and get your husband from a fire, he's definitely made a mistake or something. It's like,
yeah, I heard that.
It's like, lady, I don't know that you understand what you're saying here, but it's not really good, like, hold on, what did you just say? Are you basically saying that you shouldn't go in a house to save somebody? I mean, because if that's what she's saying, then
Well, hey, Cal, that's why I said they should hire like 3,000 goats and turn them loose in these within 150 feet of occupied buildings and just mow that stuff down. Every day, about 300 goats can mow down about 2-3 acres of bad brush underneath, and they could move those goats every day. How much would it cost to feed a goat? You know what I mean? Nothing.
Hello.
Hey, Leth. So I hear you, Cal. I know what exactly you're talking about. I've seen this and just shake my head on their ignorance out there. Leth, what are you doing?
Oh, not much. Just bored, mainly.
why are you bored, Leth?
Not much to do right now.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Wanted to see what was going on here, talk about things.
We were
you
bitching about
funny.
stupidity in California and the cops in Portland finally deciding to do their job and arresting a bunch of Antifa people. And then other people robbing the Antifa people's backpacks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding a bunch of bipolar medication, which no one would be surprised by that.
Yeah, not
I
surprised
bet you
about
it
that.
belonged to some lady too.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to do. Go find a chore. Yeah, he lives on a farm. It's like he must have already fed the chickens and everything.
I don't live on a farm.
I thought you did.
No.
Why
Did I
not?
ever say that?
I assumed that you were a farm boy because you're out in the flat part.
No, I don't live on a farm
Well, why not?
because my family doesn't own one.
But you have land, right?
About, what, 6 acres?
Dude, you could do so much with 6 acres.
Yep.
It's
That's what I
all
said.
clay.
Clay's great, man. Till it up, plant potatoes. I mean, it's all clay everywhere. What are you talking about? It's Kentucky. It's all clay.
I always heard that it was poor for farming. I don't know, though. So, whatever.
No, potatoes actually grow better when the dirt's bad.
Mm.
There's
that
a
one
couple
makes
of
sense.
different kind of plants that actually prefer crappy dirt.
Okay, that's fair.
Wine's one of them, which we can't grow wine down here because Florida's dirt is always leaking hydrogen sulfide. So the only kind of grape that'll grow in Florida is garbage for wine. So, but yeah, go do some chores though. There you go. You got your answer. But Bo was quick with it. He's like,
Yeah, well,
that's why he tells his kids. Yeah, that's how I used to when my kids would be like, "I'm bored."
oh,
And I'd be
God.
like, "You want me to find you something to do?" No.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
That was a famous last words of my mom. Oh, you're bored? I got a job for you. You knew she had one waiting for you. I was like,
You're
oh,
like,
crap.
I'll find something for you to do. There's always something that you could be doing. There's no
Yeah.
reason for anybody to be bored.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I don't know. I just got done watching one of my favorite, one show, and I.
Oh, no one's attacking you. We're
If I
just
was-
talking about how it is when you're a kid, you know?
If
Yeah.
I was a parent up in Pensacola the other day when it got 8 inches, my kids would have said, I'm bored. I would have handed them the shovel and said, shovel the driveway.
My niece lives up off of I-10, State Road 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they got a shit ton of snow. She sent me the picture. It was like,
I saw a video of
we
guy
just
putting a
got
ruler in, he got 10
temperatures
inches.
dropped. Our temperatures here dropped to like 40 degrees. There's a wine grape glut. Yeah, well, I mean, that's California's thing, ain't it? I mean, California makes a lot of wine. Don't till clay. You don't till clay? What do you mean? How else would you do it? We usually have a tractor come in. It's got that spinny thing, and it,
Well, they
turns
got,
it all up.
yeah.
And then if you're growing potatoes, you make like rows, and you plant the potatoes on the top of the mounds, but so it looks like almost like corduroy with potatoes pointed on the high parts.
Yeah, you gotta go in there. It's the furrows you keep putting more dirt up onto the stem of the plant so that it keeps growing more potatoes. And
Yeah,
I've seen it out here, Minnesota and North Dakota. We're big on potatoes up here. So
farming in Cali's rich people and write-offs. Well, I mean, I don't farm now, but when I did farm, it was about growing food and not starving to death.
Yeah. Nowadays, you don't really make money per se, but you do have a lot of land.
Well, let's put it this way: if you had 6 acres like you, if I had 6 acres like you did, left up there in Kentucky, I'd have a 2 or 3 cows, and there'd be at least a 1 acre garden out there, and a
Fair.
couple chicken tractors, and I would be pretty much all set. I would not need to go to the grocery store very often.
Mm,
I'm
completely fair.
serious. I would
Although
not.
we're planning on selling a bit of our land for now.
Well, just bear in mind, they don't make any more of it.
Nah.
Like, I wouldn't mind, even though I doubt that I could do it, just because I'm sure my neighbors wouldn't be too pleased. But I wouldn't mind raising pigs, that whole thing. But yeah, you gotta.
That's a lot of acreage, Cal. That's a lot of acreage.
How much acreage? Yeah, that's a lot.
Damn, yeah, cows got all the land.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of ground you got up there, Cal, but I got my idea on what I would do for running my own cattle. But I like I said, I would do something more of a what do they call it? A custom grazing, where I'm just selling to relatives and close friends. It's like, oh, I got 4 or 5 cows. I got to slaughter 2 of them a year, and I've got it pre-sold at a set price, and it doesn't matter, and it's out the door. You know,
We had a cow growing up, but she was only for milk.
Old Betsy.
And the biggest problem with her is every now and then she'd get into a patch of wild onions. And then when your cow gets in the wild onions, your only recourse is to, before you drink any of the cow milk, you have to eat a sliver of raw onion. And then after that, you can drink the cow milk and it tastes just fine.
Hmm.
But if you don't eat that sliver of onion first, then the cow milk tastes like onion.
no, I believe it.
Oh, 1900s cows been freaking doing his thing for forever, man.
Most farming is generational.
Yeah.
It kind of has to be because of how it is. I mean, you'll have a lot of specialized equipment that costs a lot, and then you have all that land,
I don't even know
and then
when
the
my property
fields
came
too.
into my family.
He's got 100 cows and he doesn't do custom. I can see with 100 you don't do custom. I can totally see that. But 2 or 3 cows, Cal, you can manage that. But
Yeah.
100, forget it. That's like 3 semi-loads, 2 or 3 semi-loads, and trying to do what everybody wants. No,
Yeah.
no thanks. It's sort of like pigs and stuff like that. Anything you got to have a small amount to be able to have it manageable, and you can't be hiring 6,000 people to help you do that shit either. So
Yeah. When I say I would like to have a pig, I mean a pig.
no,
I
see,
would like to have a pig pen and have a pig in the pig pen.
I would do kuni pigs just because they don't do the rooting and stuff like that. They're more of a grazing
Hmm.
pig, and I would turn that stuff into, and I've read this in some articles, that turn it into fine sausages and salamis and stuff like that, guanciale and bacon and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh no, that one's going. We need a pig. We need a pig.
We used to just raise one a year and butcher it. And then that would be a lot for a long time.
Oh, I know. Kunis are smaller than the average pig, though. So
Oh, yeah. We had Lancashire pigs. They're the big ones that are like white and sometimes spotted. And they'll
yeah,
get they'll easily get 350, 400 pounds.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
No,
they're
no way.
practically as big as a freaking cow, you know.
Yeah.
And then if you get the hybrid pigs, which are a thing that they want you to watch out for if you're up there, some of those bad boys, they'll
It's
get 600 pounds.
It's a kuni is like 120 to 200 pounds for the sows, and then boars are up to like 240, but they can blow up to almost 400. So, but
Right.
I mean that's sort of where I'm going. If I get my property down in Florida, that's what I sort of want to get. So that I'm like, okay, I got these kunis, and somebody wants to buy some piglets. Hey, I don't care. You can buy some piglets. I'll keep one or two for myself. Grow them up, get them fat. You know what I mean? Sell the pork to whoever and be done with it.
See, I would have a pig, but only because I intended to raise it and then butcher it myself, or if not butcher it myself, take it down to the slaughterhouse to have it done. Because you can do that up there. You can like load an animal up and just take it down to the slaughterhouse and tell them that you want butchered, and you give them the money.
Yep.
And they'll call you when it's done, and it'll be that whole thing in white paper,
Yep.
meat
Butcher paper.
wrappers, however you wanted it. And, that's pretty good. You just take care of that, and then you put it in your freezer, and you're good for.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that I got, my sister, my brother, and I got other relatives all down there in Florida. I mean, and my dad. I'm like, it's a phone call. Call them up, say the pig's going to get butchered on Thursday. I get it back Tuesday afternoon. What do you want? How much do you want? Make sure you have a check ready when I come by. You know what I mean?
Right.
Swing by and here it is. Or here's a cow. I'll get you 4 roasts, blah, 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 blah. And we'll drop it by your house,
Right.
That's another excuse to go visit relatives. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay.
And then if you got extra vegetables and the rest of that stuff, it's just like. Plus, Florida, you got citrus. You also got that citrus, thing where you can grow all the oranges and lemons and everything else you want. So it's sort of a ideal environment to have like a homestead and just be able to yearly keep your food, going. And you don't have to go, well, we're at the end of March and we're reduced to eating potatoes every day.
Yeah. Florida's pretty neat as far as the growing season, and also how you can like cucumbers and stuff like that grow really well down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the growing season's a little bit different because of the weather, but yeah. And then a lot of people they make potato growing beds, and it starts out as like a 12 by 12 box, like 12 inches by 12 inches, and however big you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you put the potatoes in, and then when they get big, you screw another 12-inch board all the way around it and fill it up.
Yep.
And they keep going.
Yep.
And then by the time you're done, you start taking this thing apart, and every layer you added is a layer of potatoes.
Yep.
So you can grow 100 pounds of potatoes in an area that's, maybe 3 square feet. I mean, it's going to be pretty tall, but 3 square feet.
It's the best way to do it though, because if you're old like me and you, who wants to be bending over with a potato rake and shoveling those things up and sort, you know what I mean? It's like,
Well, down here, the most common thing is grow beds. Like almost no one actually grows directly in the ground.
yeah.
But you'll see people build these elevated, grow beds. And another thing some people do is they'll go out and they'll buy like the watering troughs for like horses or cattle,
Yep.
like those big metal ones, and they'll just grow in that. So,
Oh yeah, kettle troughs.
Yeah, they'll just grow in that.
I've made plenty of planter boxes out of pallet wood and stuff like that. I just take a pallet and just rip it apart, put it back together. So it's just if it's free basically. It's free wood. It's just the labor to put it together and plant all your plants you want in it.
Yeah, because a lot of times people will leave pallets just laying about.
Oh, the best place for pallets, and I'll tell you, my secret is I go to these steel companies or these people that use a lot of steel for making stuff. Well, they always get these big, long, 8 foot plus long pallets, and it's really good wood usually. It's usually oak or something like that. It's a hardwood. That's the best place to go get that stuff. It's like they want to get rid of it. They'll hold it if you come by with a trailer once a week, and they will give you a trailer load of that stuff to go home with. And if you wanted to burn it all in a fireplace or something, or a fire or whatever, they don't care. They're just like, yep, take it away. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take it away from them for free, I mean,
better than them having to pay to take it to a dump.
Yep.
Yeah, you're saving them money, really.
There
used to be a place down here that I used to be able to get 55-gallon polypro barrels from.
Yeah, those are good too.
Like the blue ones. And you could just cut them in half. You know what I mean? And I'd just take my skill saw and just set it on its side, just go around it, and then now you've got these two relatively big, and that polypro, I mean, you don't want it to be necessarily in direct sunlight. You want to paint it.
Yeah.
Because, sunlight will kill the polypro, but
you can get those 250-gallon drum things from they're filled with chemicals and stuff like that all the time too, for next to nothing. I've seen them go for nothing to $30, and you can use those things. You can fill those things up with water or whatever you want. Just spray paint them black, and just set them wherever you want. If you got something like a bobcat, Jesus, you can move them around anywhere you wanted to.
Yep. And we always painted ours with grill paint.
Yeah.
The paint you use to paint a grill.
Yeah.
Because that shit it's thick and it's tough. Once it's on, man, it ain't going anywhere.
I saw a guy use what do you call that stuff for the undercarriage of a car?
Oh yeah,
that stuff. He painted his stuff with that stuff. I was just like, "What are you using that for?" He says, "I'm never gonna have to paint this again."
You won't. That epoxy paint.
Yep.
There's a company down here that would paint your house with it. It was like crazy,
Well, it's like, why put on these clay tiles on your house, or these crappy, tar paper tiles, these asphalt tiles, when you can have a steel roof put on it and it's going to last you 50 plus years. You know what I mean? If it's installed right, it's not even going to blow away during a hurricane or anything. It's
what's funny about that too, not but is like all the houses that I grew up in as a kid had those steel roofs, those tin roofs,
Yep.
and you just had to get up there every now and then, like every couple of years, and paint them. And a lot of times you just use, metallic colored paint, like aluminum paint or whatever,
Yeah.
and those things would literally be on that roof for the existence of the home.
Yeah.
It was like, however long this home will be here,
Well,
that's how long this roof will be here. As long as you keep painting it,
they've
and
got,
protect it from getting rusted or whatever.
yeah. Out here in Minnesota, they've got old military bases, and these farmers would buy these Quonset huts from the 1940s and use them as potato barns, and they're still sitting out there on the prairie, and just the water just sheds right off of them. It's just like, okay, I mean, we learned a long time ago this technology, and yet we still go back to this aesthetic bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just like, why are we using aesthetic bullshit like asphalt tiles that the environmentalists are complaining they're gonna kill somebody, because we're using oil or climate change,
Well, I can tell you why. It's cheap.
Yeah.
That's why.
A
Asphalt
one-time
tiles
investment,
are
though.
really cheap, and they're fast to install. So a lot of what they call builder homes, which is just when you go into a like a subdivision and all the homes are
The
that.
cookie cutters.
Yeah, that's builder quality, they call it, and they use within reason, the cheapest materials they can get away with.
Oh,
And
God.
asphalt tiles are that. Like, I don't know how much it might even cost to have a bunch of, like a tin roof put on a house, but it would probably set you back a pretty penny, compared.
I was reading it's like 50% more than an asphalt roof, but if it's 50% or 100% more, let's do the math. 50 years of never replacing it compared to an asphalt roof that you're going to replace every 10 to 20 years, depending on where you live. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
I would
having to
rather
replace
invest
some.
it now while my body is able to pay for it, quickly, than do it when I'm 80 years old and I'm sitting there going, how am I going to afford a $15,000 roof?
Or
Or have to
replacing it
get up there
after a bad
myself?
storm, because sometimes those asphalt tiles will come off.
Oh,
They
God.
will. That last hurricane that blew through, our neighbor lost a bunch of the shingles off the top of his roof. They're just gone. They just went away. And it's like, damn, And but the problem is, as far as what you're talking about, though,
It's also really annoying having to, actually color match it too if you have to replace them.
right? And another issue is that they are not going to let you like your insurance company, they might re-roof your house. They're not going to do it in metal. Yeah, you can just get over that. That's not happening. So you're going to get shingles because that's just the cheapest, quickest, whatever. And it just is the way it is, I mean, it sucks, but it just is the way it is.
Yeah, I'm just, when I move down there, I'm just not gonna I want to do it where I build the house and it's like, nope. The I'm just not going to put up with it. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to, I'm going to put it up myself, and I don't have an HOA. So, you know,
Yeah, it's sad. I went by the old homestead to show my wife how I used to live, and they hadn't. Whoever's living there has not been taking care of the place, and now it just looks terrible, you know.
yeah.
And the tin roof was all rusted in, and everything was like off kilter. You could tell like the foundation was given out, and you know, if I had the money, I would buy that place. I would, but I ain't got the money for it.
Yeah, sadly, there's a lot of places that look like that anymore.
Yep, I would buy it just because I grew up there, and just because uh, you know, most of what it needs is not even major stuff. And whatever I need help with, I have relatives that basically do a little bit of everything.
I know how that
Yeah.
feels. A lot of people who would do roofing in our family.
Yep, that's how my family is. We got electricians and roofers and framers, and you know, just basically whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, whoever got in there, they just decided to
Let it go.
let it go, and it's just a little sad. That's all.
Well,
I am looking for a piece, and I am not finding it, and it is making me a little bit crazy.
I got my whatever, you know what I mean. I got my ideas, and I just don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to have the government going, hey, you know. It's like, well,
Yeah,
Can't do that.
yeah. I don't want that. Don't want that inspector coming around going, you can't burn that pile of brush because, you know. I mean, I know Cal
That's
has to do that with the
endangered
California.
fish over here.
Yeah, Cal probably has to deal with the California Air Resources Board and all that kind of nonsense out there. And no, I don't want that. I want to be able to go, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a thing here, and I don't have to answer to anybody. I can put this there, and I don't have to answer to anybody. You know,
yep,
those rules get to me. You know what I mean? It's like the more rules you put on me, the less money I'm going to make, because I got to sit there and look at your rules and then try to determine how to do this the way you want it to be done. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
well, the more laws, the less freedom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the thing, you know. It's like, but the problem is, every time you get a new congressman into office, the first thing they want to do is pass a law so they can say they passed a law.
Yeah, so they can say they did something.
So they
Doesn't have to be something good. They just have to be like, hey, look what I did.
exactly, and then you end up with like, wait, what? No one cared about that. Why did you pass that law? Well, because they wanted to say that they did, but
I'm sorry, sir. They made a law against tap dancing on Tuesdays.
oh, Kentucky's got some great laws still on the books.
Technically on the books, it's just never enforced.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
but all you need left is one goddamn sheriff going, all right, I'm going to go enforce this rule. I'm not going to have, you know, no sock hops on Friday. You know, that's illegal. I'm going to go out there and shut that down because that good book said, you know what I mean?
well,
Good news is
we've got the
half the
famous you're not allowed to bullfight in Kentucky.
yeah, Who's doing that anyway?
You're not allowed to carry ice cream cones in your back pocket.
Why would you carry it like that?
You're not allowed to tie a tricycle to the back of an airplane.
Has that ever happened once?
Oh, it must have at least
I
one time.
guess.
At least one time someone did that. Someone somewhere was like, I'm going to tie my tricycle to a airplane. Why? Because it's Kentucky. I don't know. Or like, who cares if some idiot is carrying ice cream cones around in his back pocket? Who really cares? Well, someone cared enough to pass a freaking law about it. So there's that, you know? I mean, so yeah, someone cared because they're like, oh no, we're not having any of that. Yeah, the bureaucracy.
Ooh, here's one of my favorites that I've heard.
What's that?
In one state, I can't remember where, if two trains come across each other at a crossing, they both have to stop and wait for the other one to pass.
Right. So it's like
You're at an impasse because nobody can go first. Apparently.
Like yeah, they definitely
there
are
is
a bunch of geniuses.
There's some dumb laws on the book. Let me tell you what. Well, they wanted North Dakota was wanting to repass the blue law, so they'd start closing stores on Sundays up there. So, you know.
Well, Chick-fil-A did.
Chick-fil-A is a private business. They can do anything they got.
They can do what they want, right? Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're just not going to be open on Sundays, guys, whatever.
You walk into a Chick-fil-A with a T-shirt that says "I hate Chick-fil-A," I don't blame them for throwing you out. And you know what? You should be. I don't care if it's freedom of speech or whatever. You're on private property. You walk onto James's property and call him a heretic for his religion. You know what? I don't blame James for throwing you out. You know.
I just laugh at you, really, but
you know.
I get what you're saying, though. Why did somebody go into a Chick-fil-A wearing a shirt that said "I hate Chick-fil-A"?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
Probably. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
But you know they're lying, though.
That's my feeling about it. You're on private property. Go away. You know what I mean? If I say you need to go away right now and you start arguing with me, I should have the right to pick you up and throw you off the property without recourse. You know what I mean? As long as I give you that warning, sort of like the castle doctrine. Here it is. You got 30 seconds to leave. If you do not leave in the 30 seconds, I'm going to forcibly throw you out.
Or shoot you. There's always that.
That is my feeling about it. In Florida, you're more prone to be able to do that than anywhere else, as far as I know. Maybe Wyoming, Montana, you know.
We're it's a weird combination of things, but you don't want to get too crazy with it because you could get yourself in trouble. But there is a weird combination of laws where you've got like the stand your ground law, the Good Samaritan law, the castle law, a constitutional carry, but it's got to be concealed. So you can carry constitutionally, but
better not show it.
To know you're doing it. It's like
makes no sense to me. I don't see why that would change things, but okay.
Well, it's funny because then it's all like no one knows. So when you go out, like instead of Kentucky, where you see some guy walking around with a 6-shooter on their hip, in Florida, no one knows. It's like, is this guy packing heat or not? And
Maybe,
do I
maybe not.
want to find out? And the answer is, generally speaking, no, I do not want to find out whether he's got a gun on him or not. And that is the correct answer, in my opinion. Just everybody be nice. You know, it's not that hard. Just be nice. Especially when you're out at the Wally World and shit. There is no reason for anyone to want to be an asshole. But, you know, I guess some people want to do that. I mean, if you go there after midnight, you get what you deserve. But before then, shouldn't be an issue. But yeah. The Walmarts down here after midnight, they turn into like Fight Club. It's just, you know, all the cowboys and good old boys meet up and they
they get into fights.
Yeah, they you know, want to fist fight each other in the parking lot, and unless somebody calls the cops, nobody really says much about it. It's like, all right, whatever. You know, a bunch of good old boys out here good old boying. I mean, I don't know who's going to have a problem with that.
Some random person will.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody might, but whatever. You know, whereas where I was in Kentucky, everyone's caring if they want, but you still didn't have any problems because nobody wanted any problems with anybody. So it was like,
You know what? It isn't so goddamn hard for people to just go, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I mean, walk away. This isn't that hard. Just walk
I'm not
away.
even saying like that. I'm saying that like literally no one had a problem with anyone else. I never, the whole time I was up there, which was well over a week or so, never did I hear anyone say a harsh word to anyone else. It's just like, you know, whatever. You're out and about, you see somebody, you say hi, they say hi, you go on your way. But that's how a lot of people in Kentucky are, is they're very kind of what's the word I would use? Like retiring almost, you know? It's like nobody really wants any trouble. Everybody's just trying to do their thing. So, like if you go to the Kroger's or something, the chances that somebody's going to try to harass you or something are just astronomically thin, you know? It's just not going to happen. Nobody's out there being like, oh, I need to pick a fight with some random dude over here. I mean, it's just not a thing that happens, you know? And then on top of that, you know, the other issue up there is that, and I think this is what keeps so many people polite, is that little things tend to escalate to big things really quick. Yeah. So, you know,
especially if they're on drugs or they're drunk or something stupid like that, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start a fight with somebody, be ready for it to just become a thing, because
yeah, you might get in trouble with the meth head.
Because yeah, it's gonna be a thing. If you're gonna start it, it's definitely gonna go there, you know. Because some people just do not give a you know, if you start, like where I am, no one starts anything. And the main reason is I'm related to everybody. So, hey, Nerdy Ogre, how you doing, bro? How you been? I ain't seen you in a coon's age.
Well, yeah, that's I don't know. I just whenever I see these people and they want to get in a fight, I just like, all right, well, I'm 6'6", 250. The first word out of my mouth is, I'm going to let you have the first throw. I might even let you have the second one, but after that, all bets are off. And I just tell them, I'm going to kick your ass so hard. It's not even going to be funny. And I'm not going to let up.
You're too big. Nobody's fighting you.
I just like, bring it.
Like, they see you, they're like, nah. That guy's way too big. Like, I mean, do you want to be the one? No. See, me, when I was in school, I was like,
it's always guys that are drunk or guys that are on drugs that always try to come up and fight me. And I just look at them because I'm never drunk.
Well, the drunks want to fight you because they get that Napoleon complex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Being the biggest guy in the bar is almost always surefire you're going to get in a fight. Because, you know, there's always going to be some prick there that gets that liquid courage in him and decides he's, you know, got to beat up the big guy. And it's like, calm down, dude. Calm down. We didn't have bars for the longest time. Now we do, though. So there's that, I guess.
Well, I don't go to bars anyway, so I'm just like, you know. And when I do go to a bar, it's like, all right, I'm here for, you know.
Yeah, I don't go to bars.
Me neither.
There's nothing there for me.
I've seen what it does to my brother. I don't want to do that. That's, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not necessarily 100% opposed to drinking.
Nope.
I've drank my share, but I don't like to go into public because it's like, if I'm hanging out around the house having a drink, hanging out with friends, playing board games, being silly, that's one thing. But you get to a bar, there's a bunch of strangers you don't know. I mean, the way I would counteract that when I was young is when we would go to like the Rover's Return, which was a pub. I would go with like 12 people. So when we walked in, if there was anyone in the bar that was thinking they wanted to get in a fight that night, they knew it wasn't going to be with us.
Because you're in a group.
Because exactly, you know, it's like, I learned that in the Army, bro. In the Army, they tell you point blank, don't go anywhere without your battle buddies. Nowhere. No matter what you think. You might think it's the safest place on the planet. You better have your battle buddy with you. Get caught out without your battle buddy, you're not going to like it. Because people are going to have words with you. You know what I mean? Doing all right. Trying to figure out how to share my Discord screen on a YouTube live. Yeah, good luck with that, man. I don't even know if you can do share screens on YouTube Live. YouTube Live is weird. But
great. Oh,
you gonna be all right?
Yeah, I'm just filling out goddamn. What do you want to call it here? Online document for insurance. You know, just pain in my ass.
You would think it would be pretty easy since you've had insurance for like years and years.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey,
well, you know what I told the broker? I said, same company I was working for before, same bank account. I told them everything's the same. Just send me the doc to sign. But no, they make me put in everything in here. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. So now I got it. Now you guys are gonna hear me pounding on my keyboard.
bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. So
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either.
Oh, somebody out there will complain about it.
Yeah,
Somebody will, not me.
yeah, somebody's got to complain about something all the
They
time.
complain
though.
about they complain if their wife gave them sex. You know what I mean? I mean, come on.
Well, if they're complaining about that, then I don't know. I don't think I want to be involved in that conversation.
Yeah, me neither.
I had to lay the law down at the fire department because people would come in talking that shit first thing in the morning. You know, some guy walks in, starts talking about how they got laid. And I eventually was like, "Are you trying to advertise your wife? I mean, you're coming in. We got this crew of 6 guys, and you're coming in, and you're telling us all how great your wife is at all these different things, right?" It's like, and we're all sitting here looking at you. And I said, "Are you honestly just trying to get one of us to maybe see if we could get a swing at that? I mean, you shouldn't be advertising, bro. You need to keep that shit to yourself,
Yeah.
right?" And I mean, the guy was a little mad at first, but then after a minute, he was like, "Yeah, you're right." He's like, keep that shit to yourself, man. If it's good, well, good for you, but don't tell other people. Yeah,
We don't need to. You don't need to advertise. It's yours. Don't worry
right.
about it.
You advertise, and then don't be mad when somebody's over there trying to find out.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that was out here advertising, you know? I mean, you can still be mad, but, you know, half the guys I worked with were in the swinger groups anyway, so whatever.
Whatever. They can pick up whatever disease they want.
Yeah,
You know
not
what I
my
mean?
problem. That's my opinion on that. Not my problem. Or as my wife always says about stuff, this is not my monkey and not my circus. So I
There
am
you
not
go.
having any part of it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right. Of course, unfortunately for her, whenever I do something stupid, she's like, damn it, that is my monkey. And then, you know. Luckily, most of the people in my family, they know that I'm very medicated and everything like that. So a side effect of that is that I can kind of get away with saying just about anything because everybody's just like, well, you know, he was probably on his meds or off of them or something. Something was going on, you know. So I've got this not great reputation, which is if you want to keep a secret, never ever tell me because I'm incapable of keeping a secret. Because if someone walks up and asks me what the secret is, sometimes I'll tell them before I remember it's a secret. And then they're all like, well, it's your own damn fault. You told him. And you know that half of the time he's medicated and off in his own world anyway. So if you're going to tell him stuff, you get what you get. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fine with just one wife. Yeah, you know what? I don't understand these guys that want to. I mean, ain't one a big enough pain in the ass for you? You want to go get more? I mean, what are you doing? I think those guys must just be masochists or something. You know, they're like, there's something wrong.
I'll have 2 wives. I just don't want to be anywhere near
Right.
them.
Yeah, I could say technically, I guess you could say I've had 3 wives, and I don't want to be near 2 of them ever.
Yeah.
And the good news is, hey, how you doing, Michael Stronghold? Yeah, I just been making videos. Somebody made a request. I don't even remember who because I'd have to look it up. About, hey, this is D&D appreciation month for like classic D&D. So I've been trying to throw a little bit of that here and there into my videos. So, I mean, and when I say D&D classic, I mean, I definitely count OSC as part of that. Since OSC is just, let's be honest, it's just BX somewhat modified here and there, but yeah, that's basically just what's been going on, you know. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, I'm not finding anything here, so I am going to need to go looking for a left-handed pistol. The good news is that's super easy because a lot of pistols are left-handed, like the one I just picked up randomly, because the guy has a shovel in his right hand. So that means this guy is assaulting across no man's land with an entrenching tool in one hand and a pistol in the other.
It's an engineer. I'm joking.
Either way, I was thinking if I make an opposing army for these guys, I'll make like a heretic army, and I will base it 100% off of Canadians.
Oh,
Because I have, for free, I got the, on my mini factory, I got the Canadian platoon from World War I, right? So all I gotta do is like put spiky hats on them, you know, and like demonic looking shit all over them to make them look like cultists and shit.
And James, to be fair, they're the ones that, you know, made Geneva make a few of these, the Geneva Convention make a few of these rules.
And that is the reason people have been talking so much about how the Canadians are so terrible that the Geneva Conventions exist because of them, that I was like, well, then I can't think of a better bunch to be, you know, in the heretics, you know, and they sell because, like almost all the miniatures games that I actually paint and hopefully one day we'll get to play, this game is miniatures agnostic. So, yeah, you can print out the actual official stuff, which I have some of, but you can also just make whatever you want and call it whatever you want. Newsom being served with recall. All right, well, that's good. I'll keep a secret.
Newsom's getting recalled? Well,
Or going to spiral into stupid shit, which isn't very many secrets. That's true. I am terrible with keeping secrets. Yep. Some, especially.
You know, the biggest thing with California is you get too many people that just walk into the ballot box and just automatically just one party or the other. It's just they go straight down, and it's just like, you didn't think anything about it. You didn't care. You know what I mean? You voted for that person that went up to the state legislator and said, "Oh, if they're within 5 years of something, they're not a child predator." So the guy's 19 years old. He's or 10 years. They're going after 8-year-old boys and stuff like that.
They do some wild stuff. That is a fact. They definitely out there wilding and running amok in the street.
Oh.
And I don't know why, but
I'm just surprised California hasn't split off into 2 or 3 by now. 2 or 3.
Well, they were supposed to. Then freaking World War I happened. And they decided not to. But yeah. Before World War I, they'd already had the plans to make California they were going to split it in half, and Northern California was going to be the Jefferson state or some shit like that. And then, you know, stuff happened, and it didn't, and that didn't happen. And yeah, but
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, does Northern California want Southern California? Do they want San Francisco? Do they want Sacramento? Or do they want to say, oh no, we want to cut this off? I guess Cal would be the one that says that.
yeah, Kyle lives there.
Where would
He
you
would
like to
know,
divide?
but that was the plan, though, way back in the day. That was definitely 100% the plan. But then, you know, we got involved in World War I, and that kind of put that plan on the back burner, and then we never picked it back up. We were like, okay, whatever. And yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just like, let's say sort of like some counties in Minnesota want to break off and go to North Dakota and South Dakota and Iowa. Just like, no, we're done. We're done dealing with Minneapolis running everything, you know, because the politicians in Minneapolis are, you know, they vote for all this crazy stuff.
Well, it's
you know?
pretty much how like everyone in Eastern Oregon and Washington State wants to become part of Greater Idaho or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. And then Trump said that the name of Canada, after it becomes a state, will be North Gay Dakota.
North Gay Dakota.
Yeah, that's going to be the name of it. Northern Gay Dakota.
Well, I was hearing something about Alberta actually going to have a referendum about that.
Well, Alberta's probably sick and tired of being stepped on by
The rest of
everyone
Canada.
else. And Bear was saying Saskatchewan might even think about it. But if we get the Maritimes, that's just more welfare recipients will have to be paying.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know that France has an island up there, or a couple islands right off of Nova Scotia that are actually part of France.
You know what? Norway's got an island up there too.
Where's that? I've never even
It's
heard
near Greenland. It's called like Skarsgård or some shit like that, Scholars Home or whatever. And anyone is allowed to migrate there. They have no rules.
Huh.
If you want to go, you can go. But I think there's like 10,000 people on the whole place. And
It sounds awfully cold, so I probably avoid that one.
well, those tricky frickin' Vikings, they didn't call it Greenland because it was green.
No, they did not. That was all advertising, medieval advertising.
They're like, you don't want to go to Iceland. It's full of ice. You want to go to Greenland. Then you get to Greenland, and you're like, what in the F is this shit?
Yeah, people joke about that a lot in like cartoons or stuff. So you go, oh, well, I want the green one, not the icy one. You know, Greenland, no, that one's terrible. It's Iceland that we want.
Yeah.
And Iceland almost went to war with England over fish.
Yeah.
Greenland is the biggest island in the world, yeah. Too late to split California. I don't know, maybe. I mean, you probably know better than I do, but it seems to me like if you really wanted to, it wouldn't be that hard to be like, look, guys.
Australia is considered a continent, not an island.
Yep. Australia is a continent, not an island. And as such, doesn't count. Now, why? I don't know.
It just doesn't.
Just doesn't. Just that's how it is. That's the way it is. That's just somebody a long time ago was like, look, this is it. This is what's what. And everybody else was like, well, okay then. You know, I mean, not arguing with it. And yeah, that pretty much become that.
Oof.
But I don't know. If I was Northern California, I'd probably be bitching about it. I'd probably be like, look.
Like Cal is saying, not much left to bitch about. Not many left to bitch about it.
Oh, everybody's just left Northern California.
Probably because of the wildfires. If again, they
Oh,
also
I thought the wildfires were all down in L.A.
I don't know.
They moved north now?
Probably.
Man, that sucks. Poor California, man. It's so weird because, and I've said this before, it's like the most beautiful state in the union. It's got like the best climate and everything. And yet,
So mismanaged, it's worse.
it's just so effed up.
I don't even want to know what the.
Oh, great! Cal wants to start a TikTok channel so it can get banned.
In debt service, just for all the crazy crap that that state pays for. You know what I mean? What did they say? $2 billion or something like that for the homeless, or $2.5 billion for the homeless, and
Oh, I'd say it gets worse than that. Like there was that one thing. Gavin Newsom's like, well, we can't have anybody coming in here and buying the property now, so I'll put a 30-day moratorium on that. So they have to wait 30 days before they can buy it
or sell it.
Yeah, no, you can sell it earlier, but if somebody wants to buy it, they have to go and wait 30 days before they make an offer to you. Yep. Risky.
They do seem. Well,
It's in Cyrillic. I don't know Cyrillic, so I don't know how to.
I do not know Cyrillic either.
Cyrillic. I'm sure it's not anything good.
It's all Chinese to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still find it really bad for him to be like, oh, we can't have these people come here and scalp our properties. So I'll make sure they'll scalp it a little bit later where they can get it even cheaper.
Yeah, it's definitely something. My wife is cooking something.
But then again, they got more money than South Carolina did.
Well, that's not saying much. I mean, you know.
True.
It's like South Carolina got like $12. Those people are still living in what's it? They're still living in trailers and stuff. It's a pretty hello. Right back to you guys in Russia. I hope you are doing wonderful today. And Privyet.
That's another thing. Hopefully, that war will end soon.
What's that?
Hopefully, that war will end soon.
Yeah. Well, first off, Trump said that nobody's getting any money.
Yeah.
For 90 days. And he said that he'll talk to Vladimir Putin whenever Vladimir Putin wants him to. You know, he's ready. And that Zelensky's going to have to be willing to make concessions. It is what it is. Because right now, I mean, what concession is? It's like this idea that I'll never surrender, and it's like, well, that's nice and all, but you're losing drastically. You know, I mean, you're losing really bad. So, I mean, all you're doing is getting young men killed. And you know, that's nobody wants that. You know, nobody wants that. It's
Nobody good wants that.
right. The war wouldn't have even happened had the CIA and other idiots not been jerking around in the region, because you know they can't mind their own damn business
Yeah.
for anything. So yeah, you know.
We're still one done.
Yep, but the thing that bothers me the most about the war is that they've really been persecuting Orthodox Christians in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can't do that, bro. I guess he can, but kind of wish he wouldn't. Rostov on Don. Okay, nice. My great grandparents immigrated from near St. Petersburg, but it wasn't St. Petersburg as a village, but it was near St. Petersburg. You know, they fled the country right as the Reds were taking over. When they realized how things were going, they got the hell out of Dodge because, you know, they didn't want to be a part of all that. So they got the hell out. But yeah, it's good to see you. I hope you're in good health. Come to visit. My wife and I, before the war kicked off, 100% were planning on visiting St. Petersburg. We definitely wanted to go to St. Petersburg. You can get tour groups and stuff. So, you know, it looked fun. I would love to go see the Winter Palace and all the big cathedrals and stuff. No, Leningrad is dead, and it's never coming back. So, no more Leningrad. No Leningrad, no Stalingrad, none of those commie bastard grads. Nope. St. Peter. Yep.
Man, now I just want to make a White Russian army.
I've got all these Russian troops here, but I'm using the Mosin Nagants for my Trench Crusade army.
That's fair.
But mainly because instead of giving my Trench Crusaders infields, I wanted to give them Mosins.
I got a Mosin.
Well,
don't.
the garbage rod. Why
Yeah.
not?
I'm not a fan of it. Like
Uh,
in real life, I don't like it.
why? Does it kick too much?
No, it's more of the bolt action. It's just not that well done.
Of course not. It was, slapped together as fast as they could.
Much prefer the K98's bolt. It's so much better.
Well, the K98 uses the Mauser locking bolt system, and it's basically what every bolt action rifle made today uses.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I don't have a modern bolt action. All I have is the junk rod and the K98.
yeah, but I mean, a K98, other than the weird round, which they always want to call 8 millimeter, but it's 9 point or it's 7 point something.
Yeah, he doesn't understand you whenever you talk about St. Petersburg, it seems.
Oh, well, yeah. Plus, I'm from Kentucky, so what I
What
was
accent?
going to say, because I suck at writing, is I wanted to visit St. Petersburg. Let's see.
Oh my god, I need to type better. So it used to be called Petrograd, Petrograd, and then Leningrad.
Mm-hmm. My wife is in there busy cooking up some kind of chicken dish.
I'm creating.
You are creating?
I already had my dinner.
Did you?
Yeah, beef stew.
You eat early, huh?
Not you. Well, sometimes, yeah. We didn't have lunch. We just waited till this, like a little bit earlier to eat our dinner.
Rostov on Don. Fish, crayfish, and vodka. Well, of all those three things, I like vodka. That is my drink of choice.
I'm more of a whiskey person. Oh,
Yeah,
something
you would
happened to
think,
that.
being born in Kentucky, that I would be a bourbon guy, but just never really have been. It's it's just, I don't know.
Hey, to each their own. I really do not like vodka, at least alone. I cannot drink
Vodka,
vodka straight.
it's like the first sip might be a little harsh, but after that, man, it's smooth.
I just didn't like the taste of it.
Well, I
Terrible.
mean, I didn't even know that it had a taste.
Maybe it was the version I got. I don't know.
Yeah, like I have some Stoli,
I mean,
which I think is made in like Estonia or whatever. And yeah,
what I had kind of felt like you were trying to drink like rubbing alcohol.
yeah. You Sounds like you had some pretty cheap vodka.
It was.
Like that Polish vodka, that Popov.
I didn't have that. I had New Amsterdam.
Yeah, nah.
Definitely not good.
I even have a special glass just for drinking vodka. This is my vodka glass.
I got myself a whiskey.
We can
glass.
go to Donbass. Yeah, right. We can join the DPR.
Oh, I might need to go get this washed now.
If you want. I don't speak Russian, so I don't know how much use I would be for the DPR. Plus, I'm old and retired, but yeah.
I do got a really nice drinking glass now.
Do you?
Yeah, I showed it to you before.
Yeah. Oh, the one with the engraving?
Yes.
Yeah. Donbass. Let me see.
I think I heard a song about Donbass.
Yeah. No one but us. Let me see.
He says that is a small glass for Russian vodka.
I think that's 2 shots of for American drinking. That's like 2 shots. Yeah, so yeah, you can put a lot of vodka away with that glass. Don't you know? We'll put this
Now
slow so
what?
that we don't.
What do you mean now what?
Oh God, it's just one thing after another. People sending me
200 ml glass pickled cucumber jelly. Good. Pickled cucumber. In America, we just call those pickles. We don't call them pickled cucumber. Why, I don't know, but that's just what we call them. Let's see.
Свобода редкая птица в этих краях. И постоял за нее, можно остаться в нулях. Свобода ветер в полях, в донецких степях. Заковал ее в цепи, пожнет лишь пепел. Пепел и дым, костры, не спят посты. Разведены мосты, а обещания пусты. Никаких компромиссов в бою с нациком. Передаю привет юго-восточным пасекам. Давай вставай, брат, отец, бег на бат против автомата. Работает град, знает солдат, что не спит, мать ждет дома. Но это ночью тихо, не моя кума там, где не вернуться домой. На самом деле здесь знает, кто из
Well, on that,
до конца, до победы
I've been
славного.
called off.
Своих не бросим, русская за каждого бойца до конца, победы
Oh,
славного.
man.
На поле боя.
Yeah, I gotta go help with
То
some
есть не
cooking.
мы когда, если
I'll see you then.
Yep.
All right, man.
Later. Peace out.